What's going on, guys? Mambo here, along with, I'll do this because it's going to be a cluster, Duncan and then Evan on the bottom. What's up, guys? How we doing? Okay.
Not working too well. The delay is so bad.
Yeah, Dante, I can barely hear you, but it's okay.
You can't hear me?
You're cutting in and out real bad for me, but
That's just you. I can hear him perfectly fine.
oh,
You're just on like a 5-year-old iPad.
All right. So, title of this video, you guys know, it is the play-in round predictions with us three. So we set up a very high-tech Google Sheet. See if I could actually.
Very high tech.
Okay, so the way this is going to work is.
Thanks to me.
Okay. The way this is going to work is each person, as you can see, each person has their own picks that are all blacked out. They'll go through them, and I will unblack them. So.
And after every round's over, we're gonna do another podcast of each round as it goes on.
Exactly. So this channel should be bumping out weekly podcasts, whether it's baseball or hockey or sometimes both. So yeah, let's get right into it. Starting off with Duncan's first round in the West. The 8 seed Calgary and the 9 seed Winnipeg. Duncan, who you got?
All right, so I got Winnipeg. Let's see if we can open it up. Yeah, I got them in 4. I mean, I feel like in total they're just gonna out. Oh, why did we black out all of them? Let's unblack them out. Can we open them up? Can we like open up all the West and then?
We're only doing it like one series at a time, so all three of us will talk about a game at once and then like move on.
Yeah, you guys would go right after me. Like for this game, I'm not going through every single game without like your input.
Okay.
What?
You said I'm gonna go through all my picks.
No. So you go through your Calgary, Winnipeg, and then we talk about it too, and then we do the Oilers and the Blackhawks.
Then why'd Dante say he's gonna go through all of his picks?
Because Dante's an idiot.
Okay, well, I picked Winnipeg, like, and just Calgary doesn't have good enough goaltending or scoring to keep up with Winnipeg's goaltending and scoring, and I feel like their defense is pretty equal. Maybe Calgary's got the edge with that, but I don't think it'll be that close to the series, but I don't see a sweep happening.
So, yeah, I got Calgary going 3-2.
Not happening, but okay.
Look, every playoff series has upsets, and it's no playoff series go the way we expect them to go. And obviously, Winnipeg's a better team in my mind, but I just think Gaudreau can lift them with their defense to a play-in series win against Winnipeg.
All right. Well, I'm with Duncan on this one. I picked Winnipeg in 4. Calgary does not have Travis Hamonic for the playoffs this year. He opted out. And Connor Hellebuyck, Vezina Trophy candidate, probably going to win it this year. Had a very good game, very good exhibition game before the playoffs. I don't see Calgary getting past him. I don't think it's happening. And I guess I'll talk about Edmonton Blackhawks first because I am a Blackhawks fan. I'm picking Edmonton in 4. I think Kane and DeBrincat and the youth, Kirby Dach, can steal a game because Edmonton doesn't have great goaltending, but I don't see them stopping Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl in a 5-game series more than once. They're just
Koskinen seemed like a pretty solid starter for the NHL.
Yeah, Blackhawks don't have great goaltending. Crawford might not be healthy for the playoffs. And if we're starting Subban or Delia, that's the end of the series right there. So
Yeah.
So
I-
I took a very different route with this. I got Blackhawks in 5, baby. Okay.
Oh man.
Look, I'm assuming Crawford will be healthy. Now, Crawford is not a very good goaltender by any means. Does have playoff experience. And I think the mix of youth and vets can actually get them past. I don't think Edmonton is going to perform up to their potential. I don't know why, but I just don't think so. And this is going to be one of those big upsets that I actually kind of feel confident about.
I hope not. I want that first overall pick.
Yeah, that's not happening. All right, so I got Oilers in 4. I feel like Patrick Kane and Taves might show up for like a game or two, but I feel like they can't rely on they don't have enough depth in any category whatsoever. Like they've got 3 backup goalies and they got like not great defense anymore because they're all too old and take up too much. And I think just seeing Connor McDavid in the exhibition like just is too dominant. So I feel like they're just gonna run up the score on their bad goaltending.
Yep. I don't think the Blackhawks really have a chance here, but clearly Dante thinks otherwise.
Yeah, I don't understand how you could like Calgary I get, but this just doesn't seem reasonable.
I don't know. I have that feeling that the Blackhawks can pull this one off.
Thank God that feeling isn't going to come to fruition because we want that first overall pick.
Yeah. I feel like the experience is going to be less of a factor here because like there's no fans, there's no like
Yeah, this is a completely clean slate.
Because taking in the pressure, there's just like the pressure just isn't the same without the away game fans. Like it used to always be like the home team had such an advantage. Now it's going to be like just who's got the better team.
Yep. And then the other thing is, the only reason I'm scared the Blackhawks are going to win this is because the Blackhawks have no pressure from the fans at home watching them. They have no expectations right now. The Oilers have so much that they're riding on to have a good season this year and to come in next year and match it. So if the Blackhawks have no expectations and they're just out here having fun trying to play the game, I think it'll give them a little edge, but I don't see them getting past the Oilers.
That's what was pushing me too. When you get a team that's expected to win and a team that's not expected to do nothing, it's going to be fun. I kind of think of the Yankees on a different sport back in 2017. They were expected to rebuild. They just went out there, had fun, made it to the ALCS. So, I mean, yeah, it's hockey, playoffs. I think the Hawks could steal the series. Anything could happen, but yeah.
I feel like they definitely could if they pulled together some of their best games, but I feel like it's just not going to happen because they like rely on the fans in Chicago.
Yeah, the Blackhawks are definitely one of the teams in the NHL that rely on their home fans the most.
Yeah, they got a big fan base, especially their like sellout crowds every single playoff game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I can start with the next one.
Yeah.
All right. So I got Arizona. It seems like a hot take, but they started off the season strong, and I feel like now with all this time to sort of like they're more adjusted to their new teammates because they made some big moves like Taylor Hall coming in. I feel like Taylor Hall's also going to want a big contract coming up here in this free agency. And so I feel like he's going to really push this team. I feel like he's really something special. I got my Taylor Hall jersey on now too, but I feel like he's between their competition for goaltending, both these goalies for Arizona are going to compete against each other in like practices and everything. And I feel like they're going to be more on their game than any other team. Like they're trying to earn the starting spot here. So I feel like the competition in their team and their new talent, I feel like they'll be able to beat the not very strong offensive Predators I feel like their defense are really strong in their goaltending, but I don't think the offense is going to outmatch Arizona's young core.
I agree 100%. I don't think it's that much of a hot take. Thank you. I got the Coyotes in 4. Same reasons. I think Hot Dog Phil, baby.
Glizzy Gobbler.
Fast Phil.
Yeah, no. For basically the same reasons that you said, Duncan. I got the Coyotes in 4.
Yep. So I got the Coyotes in 5 as well. I think Philip Forsberg and Ryan Johansson, Kyle Turris, good offensive core. They're getting older though, and I think that Arizona's stay-at-home style of play, really solid defensive core. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Jacob Chychrun, and great goaltending in Antti Ranta and Darcy Kemper, who's coming back from injury this season. I think they both have something to prove, and I think that this is Nashville's window of opportunity to get the Stanley Cup is closing right now. And I think if they don't make the push this year, then that it's the end for them. That's just what I think.
I agree. Kemper is definitely going to have hell of a season.
Yeah, Kemper really started off the season strong. He was by far the best goalie, but when he was out, you could see the immediate fall of them, like hand in hand. Like he carried
and Antti Ranta
team.
picked up his game too, but it was just the whole team. And Phil Kessel really underperformed for the team this year. I think he'll play big in the playoffs this year because that's where he's made all his money.
Yeah,
that's where he's made his biggest impact is the playoffs. So I feel their team is really gonna thrive in the playoffs. Even like I feel like they'll be back to their like the start of the year. Their team was like unstoppable, and if you add Taylor Hall to that and Phil Kessel is there, I feel like they're gonna be unstoppable. But I feel like Nashville will certainly give them a run for their money with this one. That's why I got the 5-game series.
Yep, I'm on the same page with that one.
All right, next matchup, Vancouver and Minnesota. Evan.
So in this one, I don't think it's going to be a close series. I think Vancouver is going to take this one in 3. Minnesota lost one of their best scorers in Jason Zucker this year at the trade deadline to Pittsburgh. Matt Zuccarello is aging. Zach Parise was going to get traded and ended up not going through. He's aging. And they don't have a great defensive core, especially I don't think it's built for the playoffs very well. And Vancouver, with their youth coming up, Brock Besser and Elias Pettersson, I think are just going to outscore Minnesota's weak defense. And Vancouver also has Jacob Markstrom and Thatcher Demko back in net. And if one falls, I think they have a good backup that can lift the team up if one doesn't perform up to playoff standards. So I don't think Minnesota has what it takes to even take a game on them.
All right. So I agree 100%. The goalies are everything in the playoffs. When you got 2 solid goalies, that's really gonna propel you as a team. And you got Besser, Pettersson. The list goes on and on. Minnesota, not that great of a team. I mean, Vancouver's young and hungry. Got him in 3. Clean sweep.
Yeah. All right, so I think we all got the same thing here with the clean sweep. Although the season series was tied, I feel like Minnesota early, like at the trade deadline, kind of got into the mindset they weren't going to be a playoff team, which technically they're still not yet. But I feel like they're kind of already checked out and are still trying to rebuild this old group of people. But I think that Vancouver is going to take it, although they had the same amount of goals for and against in the season series. I feel like just Vancouver with once again, like the Arizona situation, they got the 2 goaltenders that I feel like you need that competition when you're off for this long to I feel like they're going to be working extra hard to get that starting role when they come back. And I feel like that's what's going to push them over the edge here is that their goaltending is just going to be stronger. And I feel like Minnesota is just like they might come out with a win or 2, but I feel like they just aren't very consistent and are just going to get destroyed by the Canucks.
Yeah. So yeah, we all agree on that. Let's move over to the East.
All right. I guess I'll start. with the Maple Leafs and Blue Jackets. So I have the Maple Leafs winning in 4. And the thing is, the Blue Jackets, kind of like a Vegas Golden Knights story in a way, lost a lot of their star players and were a team that completely rallied around each other this year. Elvis Merzlikins had a great first season, and their young stars, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Alex Texier, had great seasons on offense, and they do have a very good defensive core with David Savard and Seth Jones and Zach Werenski. I just don't think that they're going to be able to get past the star power of the Maple Leafs. Tortorella, very good playoff coach. I think if he can do the same thing he did last year and run a very defensive style of play, I think that the Blue Jackets can upset the Maple Leafs. I'm not going to say it's not possible, but I think that Matthews and Marner and Tavares are hungry to erase the sort of stereotype that the Maple Leafs can't make it far in the playoffs, and I think this is the year that they can make something happen. And I think if something doesn't happen, then there's going to be some big changes in Montreal this offseason, or in Toronto this offseason.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, Tortorella has always been a defensive-minded coach. The Rangers didn't like it, so they ran him out. But, yeah, for those Blue Jackets are – it's funny you said – I was going to say the same thing about being like a Vegas Golden Knights story. But Toronto's just too good. I mean, with the star power, it's going to overpower Bob. Got Toronto in 4.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to disagree with you guys on this one. Got Blue Jackets. It's going to be a close series, but I feel like it's, like you said, it's very like the Vegas Golden Knights. I feel like all these role players have really stepped up to the plate this year. You got all these people that you've probably never even heard of are really going to come out. And I feel like with the inspiration of all the coaching and everything, I feel like they're going to take advantage of the bad defense in the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I feel like the playoffs are so much more low scoring games and it's so much harder to roll away with it. I feel like between the defense of Columbus by far has the better defense, and I feel like the goaltending is pretty equal. We don't really know what Elvis Merzlikins is going to do, but I feel like it could definitely side here.
And the other thing is, Elvis Merzlikins might not start in the playoffs. If he has a bad training camp, Tortorella might start Korpisalo in the playoffs as well. But the thing is, I just don't think either one of them are better than Freddie Anderson. I think Freddie Anderson doesn't always play up to his potential, but I think he's going to have a good playoffs this year. That's what I think.
Toronto defense is just not what they should be. They're just so bad. Their defense just can't keep the puck out of their zone and get the puck out, and I feel like it's really going to hurt them. Obviously the offense is much better, but I feel like the offense just isn't going to compete against the Columbus defense.
I want to say one thing about my 3-1. The 3-1 is very deceiving. They're all going to be really close games. It could very well go to 5. Honestly, the Blue Jackets could pull it off, but yeah, it's going to be close. Also, I think I accidentally said Bob. Bob's on the Panthers. He's not with Columbus, so my mistake there. All right, Duncan. Who you got for the Pens and Montreal?
I got Pittsburgh. I feel like it's pretty clear what's going to happen. You got the powerhouse of Pittsburgh Penguins. They really show up in the playoffs year in, year out, and I feel like the Canadians just aren't there yet. Maybe in the future, it looks like they got some good youth going up, but I feel like they're just not there yet. Carey Price might show up, but I feel like he's a little past his prime, and they just don't have the experience. And I feel like Pittsburgh is just too, I don't think they'll go that far, but I feel like they're really going to take advantage of this mismatch here.
So, look, I was very close I want to pick the Canadians so bad, but I got to be real with myself. It's just not happening. Uh, Look, I think Price could show up, but I think the best I can get is one game. I might be too generous saying that they win a game. It's probably going to be 3-0, but I could see Price and the boys pulling one. Oh, I just hate the Penguins.
Don't really want to say the Penguins are going to win, but I feel like this one's just not even close for me to be able to look at the other side.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm on the same page. I picked a sweep. Max Domi is still a question mark as to whether or not he's going to play because he's a diabetic. Kotkaniemi had a very underwhelming sophomore season. Shea Weber is he's way past his prime. He's got a good shot, but that's about all he has now.
Ferk.
And I just don't see Montreal's youth being able to hold off the Penguins' playoff experience with Crosby and Malkin and Jake Gensel. I just don't see it happening. I think Price could steal a game, maybe, but call me a Price hater, but I think he's one of the most overrated goalies of all time. So I don't see it. I don't see it happening.
His accomplishments are just with Team Canada. Winning gold medal with Team Canada is just like a participation award.
Look,
Just show up and win.
I like Price. I mean, you got to feel for the guy. He's on the Canadians. I mean,
the Canadians were good for a while. It's not his fault that they suck now.
Right now, I mean, you got to feel for him.
I don't feel for him. He had a chance to win a while, and he let it go. So
I feel like he's in the same position as Lundqvist. He's like past his prime. Everybody wants him to win something, but it's just not happening.
I really hope we're all wrong, and somehow
the Montreal pulls it out.
I just really hope so. It's not gonna happen. Yeah.
No, happen. No, no. So the next series we have, this I think is the series that I'm most excited to see, not as a Rangers or a Hurricanes fan. I picked Carolina in 5. So I think that the Rangers are going to be a very good team in the years to come. I just don't think this is their year. I think Carolina has another chance to make a deep push in the playoffs, especially if we see the Peter Mrazek that we saw earlier in the season. He sort of lost his game, and then he got injured in the Maple Leafs game where David Ayers stole the show on that one. But I think that Carolina has one of the best defensive cores in the league, if not the best defensive core. And I think that the young Rangers aren't going to be able to get past it, especially having Sebastian Aho and Svechnikov on the offense. I don't think that the Rangers are going to be able to stop them in a 5-game series.
Yeah. All right. So look, obviously Ranger fans. We're not going to win the cup this year. Okay, we're not going to win the cup. Maybe in the next 5 years, but this year is not going to be our year. However, we are 4-0 against Carolina, and I think look, Lundqvist looked good last night in the exhibition. You got Igor. If Igor's Igor, then the Rangers got it. Carolina's a good young team. Nobody's denying that. I got it in 5. It's going to be a really fun series.
This series, I think, is completely dependent on the goaltenders. I think if the Rangers goaltenders stand on their heads, then the Rangers take it. I think if Carolina's defense is able to completely stifle the Rangers' offense, then it's over, and the goalies don't even matter.
No, I agree. I mean, the offenses are pretty comparable. I kind of lead towards the Rangers just because I get Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider, but the defense is really lackluster. I mean, you got Adam Fox and D'Angelo, and then
Jacob Trouba is okay, but overpaid.
8 years, $8 million. Is that what it was? Stop. No. But I do have him pulling it in 5. Yeah. Okay.
I just don't see. I feel like the Rangers everybody's jumping on the hype train of them, but I just don't. I just don't see it happening. I mean, the season series is just nothing when it comes to this. Like you saw, the Devils went 3-1 in a season series against the Lightning a few years ago, and well, you know how that went, and Lightning kept on rolling through. But I just feel like Carolina is a playoff team. I feel like they're the next Penguins here. They're gonna be every year, year in, year out. They're always gonna be in the playoffs, and I feel like they're not gonna let the Rangers and their lack of forward depth and their lack of defensive depth stop them.
I also forgot to say, Rod Brindamore, one of the best coaches, under-recognized in the NHL. I think that he absolutely knows what he's doing behind the bench, and it'll help Carolina get past the Rangers.
I agree. Very good coach. Duncan, I got one question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Does any of your Rangers hate bias coming in?
No, I mean, I would like to say that I want to see the youth of the Rangers coming in, because I feel like the Devils are almost just a younger but very comparable to the Rangers, I would like to say. Like, I mean, there's the star talent yet, I would say, because like the Panarin Zibanejad duo is very good, but I just feel like the youth combined with, like, I just don't see any of the experience. Like, none of the experienced players really have that much playoff experience, but I just feel like because they're just not that good anymore. But I just don't see it happening as much as, like, I would like to see Lundqvist get another playoff run in. I just don't see it happening here. Like, I just feel like Carolina's defense is going to be able to shut down Zibanejad scoring, and I feel like Panarin just was stand out like Taylor Hall was, but you just can't carry a team through the playoffs. You got to get 4-line scoring, and Rangers just don't have that yet. All their money's going into,
Jacob
like,
True.
yeah, it's like wasted away. I feel like it's very similar to like Toronto's situation. They're just overpaying a few players that certainly deserve a lot of money, but for the team's sake, it does not help them out in any way.
Yeah. All right, guys, we got 8.5 minutes before Zoom cuts us off. So let's try to move. Duncan, what do we got for the Islanders Panthers?
All right. So, yeah, you open up. I got the Islanders here. I mean, I do think the Florida Panthers are very underrated, and who knows? I mean, they've got a lot of practice with no fans, but I do think that the Islanders with Barry Trotz, I feel like Barry Trotz is just by far the league's best coach, like, undoubtedly. And it was a mistake for the Capitals to let him go, but I do think that the Islanders will be able to pull ahead of this one. It should be an interesting series. Neither team is going to make a deep run this year, but I feel like the Islanders are going to pull ahead here.
I agree. Barry Trotz, I think my favorite coach in the league, best coach in the league, hands down. Got the Isles 3-1. I just don't think the Panthers have the depth. Like you said, neither team is going to make it deep into the playoffs. I don't think they're going to make it past the second round or the first round, if you will. So yeah, I got the Isles in 4.
All right, so I'm the only one who picked the Panthers. So I think that the Panthers do have the depth that they need to get past the Islanders. They signed Nola Chari in the offseason from Boston, who had a great season with them. Jonathan Huberdeau and Alexander Barkov, very underrated. Evgeny Dadonov, very good shot, gets some goals for the team. I think that they have a good young defensive core, Aaron Ekblad and Mike Matheson. And I just think that Bobrovsky had an awful season this year, barely eclipsing the .900 save percentage. And I think that, like he did last year, he's going to prove himself in the playoffs this year. And Barzal and his supporting cast are not going to be able to get past Bobrovsky. I think that Bobrovsky is going to show up for the playoffs and show that he deserves $10 million for a play-in round and then not be able to get past the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this general section of the Carolina Rangers, Islanders, Panthers, I feel like it's pretty weak section of the playoffs here. I feel like in general none of these teams are going to go very far. I mean, I feel like Carolina definitely has, in my opinion, the best shot out of these four, but I feel like in general this is not really the series I'm very interested in. I feel like they're just not up to par with some of these playoff contenders here. I feel like they're still like those people that would be in the wild card spots.
Yes.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I think Carolina and the Rangers, they have – it really just depends on their goaltending because that's what's going to carry them this round. And then who knows, if they get hot, they get hot. But the Islanders and Panthers, honestly, they're like my first two teams to get – whoever wins is going to get absolutely destroyed next round.
You know, here's the thing. It's going to be a very defensive series because you've got the Islanders playing Islanders hockey with Barry Trotz, and we saw that in the exhibition game where they were leading the Rangers 1-0 going into the third period. Very, very slow game, but they played their style of game. They own the ice, but I just think that Bobrovsky's going to own his own crease, and it's going to allow the Panthers forwards to do their thing. And I think that the Islanders goaltenders and Greiss and Varlamov, whoever ends up starting, we don't really know yet. I think they are not going to be able to stop the Panthers' offense. I think it's going to be a low-scoring series, though.
The biggest question in this playoff, definitely the goaltending. I think every single series, a goaltender can come out of nowhere, and I feel like that's going to be the biggest factor here. It's just you don't really know who's going to show up. All these teams have solid goaltending. That's how they got here. I mean, every single team's got goaltending. Like Pittsburgh now got Jari and a solid 2 goaltending back to when they were with Fleury. But I feel like all these teams here got you don't really know who's going to show up, who they're going to maybe they start the wrong goalie or something like that because some of these 2 goalie teams, they really struggle choosing who should start.
Yep. After a 4.5 month pause, this is a completely clean slate. I feel like this is definitely going to be the most unpredictable playoff we've seen in the last decade.
I'm with you.
Very comparable to last year.
All I could say is the Hawks are going to beat the Oilers.
Go Oilers. Connor McDavid, I expect a hat trick every game.
The fact that Blackhawks fan isn't picking the Blackhawks. I mean, I'm sure, Evan, you would probably rather have them lose than win one round, but I just don't see that happen.
Nope.
I mean,
but just imagine this: Kirby Dach, Alexis Lafreniere, and Alex DeBrincat.
Look, if
that's a line right there.
If you told me, would you rather the Rangers get knocked out right now or the Rangers make it to the conference finals, I would say probably knock them out now and give me a shot at the pick.
Conference finals, I just also don't see happening. They're not going that far if they make it past this round.
No, I'm just saying hypothetically, if you told me losing, But
if you look at the next round, though, in the East, oh, man, you got the Bruins, the Flyers, the Capitals, or the Lightning. There's not, you can't be oh, well, I want to, hope that you get up against these guys. There's not a single team I would be oh, this is the team you want to play against. I feel like all these teams are by far the best 4 teams in the league right now.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the West just is not up to par. I mean, Colorado's got a shot at being.
I think the Blues and the Avs both had good seasons too.
Yeah, but I just don't see those teams being up to par with the power of the East.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that the Cup is going to the East this year.
I agree.
For sure.
All right, guys, that is all we got time for. Thank you for watching. Have a good one, boys.